Right, okay. We are trying to define SOAP API service. First, I will try to start taking the examples, how to use it, then I'll go for the theoretical part. Okay. So that you have a break in between, that's the, so if anybody want to practice, they can have practice. So how you define SOAP API service is the first question mark. In the REST API, if two systems want to communicate, when I take a REST API, if two systems want to communicate with each other and they want to exchange the resource or access the resource, if the server want to share the resource to the client, then server has given URL of this resource, and they told server has given URL of the resource. If two systems want to communicate, then server has a resource. Whatever the resource the server has, if it want to share the access to the client, it is giving the URL of the resource. Every request that we made from the client, it is happening with what? URL only. Every request we are making, every request. Who is this guy? Right. Now, what was this? What was this? If server want to communicate with the client, if the server want to communicate with the client or client want to communicate with the server, then the request is happening through the URL. The request is happening through the URL. So using the URL, we are going to communicate with this. Right. Now, we are going to follow any one of the authentication. We are going to follow any one of the authentication. Our authentication may be open source, open or API or your authentication. Any one we are using. This is the format of REST API service. So the entire process is happening with the help of URL. The same request, if you want to, if the same process, if you want to handle with the SOAP API, the same process if you want to handle with the SOAP API, what is the process we need to follow? What is the process we need to follow? Right. Now, look at the format. Now we have a client, we have a server. Now, we have a client, we have a server. Look at the format. When you are going with the client and server, the client is SFDC, let us assume. The server is Java. In the Java, they wrote a program. Some program they wrote. It is a Java program, right? Which is used to add two numbers and give a result. Now, server want to give this access on this program to the client. Whatever the functionality that we have designed in the Java, the same functionality I want to give to the client. But a client is what? SFDC. Now the server is Java. Program on the server is written using a Java. Programs on the client is written using SFDC. Here they don't use any URLs. When you go to SOAP API, they don't use any URL. They only share the direct class. So the program is in Java, client understand only SFDC, then what will happen? Take this. Convert the program in the form of neutral, which is called, it is XML file actually. Okay. Convert this program into Java program is converted into XML. That XML we are calling as WSDL, Web Service Descriptive Language. I am straight away starting with the examples. Right, theory I'll explain next week. Okay. So we have a break in the next week. So if anybody want to, if you continue or not continuing, so at least you should understand some examples. So I'm directly coming to the example. I'll go with the theory in the next week. Okay. Now we got a program. The program is converted in the form of XML. That XML we are calling as WSDL, Web Service Descriptive Language. This WSDL file is in XML. Java converted into XML. Now, when the Salesforce people take that WSDL file and consume, the WSDL which is in XML will be converted into Apex. Do you get my point? Java program converted in the form of XML, which we are calling as WSDL. That WSDL is given to client. The client, when they consume, it is converted into their native language. Now it is an Apex program. Now once the Apex class is created in the client, I understand what is that Apex class. How will I use? Create a object and invoke the service. Create a object, invoke the service. Create a object, invoke the service. Are you getting my point? So who is playing a major role here? WSDL. Who is playing a major role here? WSDL file. What is that WSDL? Web Service Descriptive Language. I hope you are good with this. Right. Again, there are two examples. One, you being a provider. Other one, you being a consumer. I told you already, if you are a provider, there is nothing much to do. The trouble starts only when you are consuming another service. If you are a provider, simply a class. We are done in the REST API. If you are a provider, it's simply an Apex class with one annotation. So if you are a provider, there is no trouble. What we are supposed to understand and learn is how to consume, because when you are consuming somebody's resource, we have to authenticate ourselves and access the data. How will you authenticate? How will you access the data is the question mark here. Right, boss? So here, two systems are communicating using a SOAP API with the help of WSDL file. With the help of WSDL file. Okay. I'll show. Again, I'm telling. First, I'll go with the example. Then I'll come back to the theoretical part. Okay, in the coming classes. So, in the keeping some people who are going for Dasta, keeping those people in the view. First, I'm quickly going with the examples first. Now, we'll do an example. My example was, we are getting now we are going to consume Amazon Web Service. There is an Amazon application. I have taken Amazon Web Service. On the Amazon Web Service, I installed a Java application, Java Spring 2.x application installed. I have taken a Oracle database. So in the Java, I have taken Oracle database with just Spring. I developed one application. I installed that application, the Amazon Web Service. Now from Salesforce, I want to pull the data from Amazon, and from Salesforce, I want to push the data into Amazon. This is my requirement. Okay, let me open my account. Let me open the files. You can see the files are added here. Okay, let me remove some of the files. Now this is how we created the data. Now we want to insert the data into this. So if you want to work with this, Right. So I have opened this WSDL. Now what is the file here? It is a WSDL file. WSDL file is going to be in the form of XML. Now this is the Java people developed Spring application. Whatever you are finding, it is a Spring application. It is a Spring application running on EC2, Amazon Web Service. EC2, Amazon Web Service. You can check out the URL also. It is Amazon, the Java Spring application running. Now here I don't use any SSL certificate. It is only HTTP link. Okay. Now those people design some services. What are the services? Edit, delete, update, create, get. How to create a new person, how to edit a person, how to delete a person, how to fetch the details of a person. Now these are the operation. So they have given the WSDL file. Copy this WSDL file. Received it. Now I received WSDL file. Now go to the Salesforce. Java people, whatever the service they want to give, they gave in the form of WSDL. Now what I was supposed to do? I have to consume that WSDL file. That is WSDL file what they gave, I have to consume and create equivalent Apex class. How will you do that? Setup, build, develop Apex classes. Setup, build, develop Apex class. Now what we have? Generate from WSDL file. Choose the WSDL file. WSDL file I consumed. Parse the WSDL file. Now they are asking the name of this. I gave. This will be the name of the class which is created in the Salesforce. Now the WSDL file is converted into Apex program. Whatever the WSDL file we got, that WSDL file is converted into Apex class in the Salesforce. File, open, Amazon example. This is the class which is created. In this class, we have some inner classes, proper classes. What was that? Login class, username, password. All these are the classes what we got. Person data, age, ID, name, country. If you observe this, person, service, soap level. This is the main class which we got. In this class, we have some services. What are the services we have? Add person, update person, get all persons, get person. All these are what? Services what we got. So we are supposed to consume this service. We are supposed to consume this service. First let us go to the first service what we have? Add person. When you want to go for add person, we have Amazon add person. So what are the credentials we had? Welcome and test and welcome. These are the credentials what we have. Okay. Let us look at this. Now, how do you invoke a class, boss? A simple example. How do you invoke a class? Outer class dot inner class. Am I right? Amazon example. Right. Amazon example. In the Amazon example, what is the name of the inner class which we are calling? Person. Outer class dot inner class. The services are available. Methods are available in this. Methods are available in this. In the entire class which is generated, only one class will have methods. That class will become your main method, main class. So, P equal to. So, outer class dot the inner class in which the services are defined. Okay, we have created this. Now, what you are supposed to do? If you want to call this add person, and there is a header element. What is this header element? If you want to pass any authentication data, you are supposed to pass your credentials, right? Now in the REST API, we give client ID, client secret, or we give username, password. Similarly, in the SOAP API, what you are supposed to do? Now they told, boss, you are supposed to pass the information in the header. What is the header we have? Amazon header element. Copy this. Amazon header element. Now, in the Amazon header element, what all the elements are there? Go back to the top and see. Amazon header element, one by one, check out header element. In the header element, what we have? User ID, password. So we are supposed to pass your user ID, person dot user ID. Person dot then header element we created. This header element should be given as AP dot. Now, what should I do? After creating the header element, whatever the header element I created, I have to add to this. Person header equal to that's the code. Amazon example. Dot outer class dot inner class. In the inner class we have AP dot person header equal to new Amazon dot in the header element what I was supposed to do? AP dot person header dot user ID equal to AP dot person header dot password equal to. I created an object for the class. Object for the class. Then person header equal to new person header equal to new Amazon example dot header element. Then person header dot user ID, person header dot password. Now what is that AP? Outer class dot inner class. In the inner class we have a variable called person header. So AP dot person header dot user ID, AP dot person header dot password. Then I was supposed to call service. What is the service I want to call, boss? At the end of the game, what is our intention? Our intention is to call add person. If you want to add a person, what they're expecting? Amazon example person they're expecting as a parameter. So create this Amazon example person equal to now p dot age 40, p dot name dot p dot occupation. This I created. Now I am calling AP dot add person. Did you get my point? They are expecting this as a parameter. So I create a person. I am passing that person as a parameter. When you are passing a person as a parameter, what is the response we are getting? Return type. Add person. Return type is what? This is return type. Go back to this. And I can give system.debug result dot, what was that message. This is what I create. First look at the example, I'll explain one more time. Now what is the primary point? Any third party system you want to communicate, that should be registered with the remote site. Then how do you call this? Execute. We invoke the service. When we invoke the service, what is the data we got here? Praveen Chandra, USA, test engineer, 40. Now what happened? From Salesforce, we inserted the data into this Amazon. From Salesforce, we inserted the data into Amazon. What is this Amazon? This Amazon is on this, what is the application running? Spring, Java Spring 2.x application. Backend database, what I am using is Oracle. So I have taken EC2 space. On the EC2, I have installed Spring. I installed the operating system, what I am using is a Linux. On the Linux, I installed Spring 2.x and I installed Oracle, and I created a REST API, SOAP API service using Java. Then I created a visual file. Now that I was trying to consume from Salesforce. So in the Salesforce, I am least bothered who are you. Now for me, whether you are Java or a .NET or a Civil or SAP, doesn't matter to me. What are you giving? Visual file. If you give a visual file, procedure is same for me. Doesn't matter to me whether you are a SAP or a Civil or a Java or a .NET. What are you going to give me? Visual file. That visual file, when I consume, I will get Apex class. Use that Apex class, create the service. Are you getting my point here? Okay. Let me explain the concept clearly. Now try to get the concept clearly. Try to get the concept clearly, boss. The moment I am consuming a class, the moment I am consuming a visual file, they ask me, what is the name of the class? I told Amazon example is the name of the class. So this is the main class which is created. In the main class, what we have? We have public class, so header element is what? If I am passing any information in the header element, it is kept in the header part of the request. Now when you are making a SOAP also, you will have header and a body. Now where are you passing your data? Where are you passing your authentication data? In the header or in the body? When you are making a REST API, we made a header request, body request. Okay, what is that? Request dot set header authorization, so and so. The next one, while you are making a request for access token, what did I do? I didn't put anything in the header. I kept all my data in the body and posted. Here also in the SOAP also we have header and body. Now anything that you put on the header element, that will go as a header. If you want to pass any data in the body, in the method, as a parameter I have to pass. In the method, if you are passing the parameter, it is a body. In the method, if you are passing the parameter, it is a body. In the method, if you are passing the parameter, it is a body. If you are putting anything in the header, okay, you are authorizing, sending your authorization data in the header. So what is this header element? Header, where you want to send your authorization data. What is the authorization data I have? Public string. There is other information also. Then I want to create a person class. Person, they are giving public string. Then we have main class. Okay. It is the main class. In the main class, first we are giving public image on, example dot, example dot, this what is the structure what I received. Now what I was supposed to do now? First, what is our outer class? Image on, because any member of the class should be accessed with the object only. So outer class dot inner class. What is the inner class? Person, service, soap level, the people new. This is what I create. So I create an object for this inner class. Now, what is the next step I have to take? AP dot. What are the members we have? Person. It is a member of this class, right? Person header is a member of this class. So I am giving person. Is it a reference variable or primitive variable? This person header is a reference or a primitive? What type of variable is that? Person header is a primitive or reference? When you call it as a reference, if your data type is other than primitive data type, if your data type is anything other than primitive data type, it is a reference. If it is a reference, how do you use it? Allocate the memory first. If it is a reference, allocate the memory. Okay. In the person header is a object of header element. So in the header element, what we have now? Tell me. AP dot person. Person header is the object of header element. In that object, we have user ID. User ID is my user ID test. AP dot person header. I can make it simple by taking two objects. Okay. Then we have passed our username password as a header element. Then what we want to do? I want to call add person. If you want to call a add person, what I require? I require a object image on, example equal to new p dot name, p dot age, p dot occupation, whatever the data you want to give it. Then AP dot add person, right? So we are passing our authentication data in the header element, and whatever the data we want to insert, we are passing in the method. Did you follow my point? Clear? So what did they give? They gave me one WSDL file. I consumed this WSDL file. Once I consumed the WSDL file, I have got a class. In the class, outer class, and one of the inner class, only one of the inner class will have method. Rest all will be wrapper classes only. Rest all will be what? Inner wrapper classes. Only one class will have methods. Rest all will be what? Wrapper classes which are used in that main class. Like we told, header element, one of the wrapper class, person, one of the wrapper class. Are you getting my point? Right, Amma? Yeah, somebody is asking a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, Satish, the thing is that, can you come back to that window, previous where you written the example? Why we are accessing, is this the prototype like outer class plus inner class, because inner class is non-static?
See, any member of the class, how will you access, boss? Any member of the
Create an
class, how do you access? With the object only. If you want to access any inner class, it's a must that you have to access with the object. There is a reason I have taken outer class dot inner class. It's a fixed syntax. It is a fixed syntax for any programming, not only integration. You take not only Salesforce, anywhere you have concept of class. In any language, you have a concept of class. Outer class dot inner class is the fixed syntax. Okay, Nama?
Okay, fine.
Okay. Right. I hope you got my point. So here, where is our authentication process? In the header I am passing. Where was my authentication data passed? In the header. How are you passing? Header element. Header element. If the people are expecting you to pass the authentication in the header element. Header element. In the header, if they want you to pass, we put in header element. In the header, if they want you to pass, we put them in header element. Authentication data. Okay. Next, I hope you have followed this point. I hope you followed this point. Anyone has?
Yeah, so it means for that.
Sir, one
It means
question.
for every method we have to create a new object.
Come again.
One person class was
See,
there. For like that,
now,
if I want to
simple
use
funda
another class, we have to use.
Listen here. What it is expecting? Now, if I have a method like this, let us take it. Forget about this person. I have a method like this. What will you do? If I want to call this create method, how will you call? Forget about this Amazon add person P. Now, if I have a method, we are very good with S objects and all this stuff. If I have a method called create, I want to pass an account. What they're expecting? What they're expecting? Account they're expecting is a parameter. Will I pass the account like this? Will I pass like this? Why? It is a reference variable. For the reference variable, if you don't assign the memory, what is the value? Null. What is the value? Null. So what we do? Now, if you don't assign any value, it's empty. Then I'll say acc.name. Then I will be passing. Am I right? This is how we are supposed to pass AC. The same thing here also I am doing. What was that? They are expecting Amazon dot example dot person. They are expecting person. I cannot pass. I cannot call add person like this. It is what? Empty. What I was supposed to do? Then give p dot name. Then I am passing p. Right? I hope you got my point. That is the reason why I have created this. Now you are supposed to pass p. I cannot pass empty. I cannot pass empty. So I allocated a memory. Then I have given the data. That p I am passing. Did you get my point? So this is for what? create a instance of a person whom you want to insert. Then in the header element, what we are doing? Pass the login credentials. It is nothing but how good you are at creating a class and invoking a class. Right. How good you are at invoking a class and invoking a classes, how good you are at passing the parameter. A simple first OOPS concept. Nothing additional logic here. The first OOPS concept. In the OOPS, when you started learning methods with parameter, method without parameters, class, object, invoking a method. As simple as that. No complexity involved in this. Right. But the only thing is we need to understand what parameter they are expecting, what is the result type they are giving, that we need to understand. I hope you are good with this. Good with this. Now, what did they give? What did the Java people give? They gave a wizard, they gave me username password, which I have to communicate. Now, next one is, I want to go with the next one. Here, I want to go with authentication in body and credentials are test welcome. What is that? Get person. So, here, I want to send my authentication data not in the header, in the body. What is the method name? Get person. Get person is the name of the method. Now they are asking authentication data they are expecting me to pass in the body. In the body I am passing. Previous example, in the header I was passing. Now I was passing the data in the body. Okay. So what I was supposed to do was, let me clear. Anybody has any query stuck up, let me know, I can explain it again. If anybody is finding it difficult, let me know, I can explain again. Amazon?
Sir,
Yeah.
Sir, on the header element part, so we have the user credentials given there, like again password. So is it mandatory or is it basic?
Obviously,
And,
see,
while
now you are connecting to a third-party system called Amazon. Now, are you allowing, like, now it's your choice. You want everybody to access your data? No, you want only specific people to access your data. Now you have to decide. Whoever is the service provider, he will decide whether it's open or authentication. Now you have already done a couple of examples in the beginning in the REST API service. Postal code I have taken. Is it any authentication they asked? No, it's open for everyone. Now currency converter, they told it's not open for everyone, right? Then I told IP address tracing my IP address and my network connection and location, geolocation is open for everyone, right? Now you need to decide what type of service they are offering. Whoever is the service provider, he will tell you. Whoever is the service provider, he will tell you. Whoever is the service provider, he will tell you what type of authentication they are using. Is it open for everyone, or is it mandatory that you have to provide authentication? Now they told it is mandatory for a person to provide authentication data for inserting the data. And they told your data should be passed in the header. Now look at this. In this method, they told it is a mandatory for you to fetch the data from Amazon, and where you are supposed to pass, they told pass the data in the body part of the method. Okay. Now what they are asking? They are asking the login data. How I was supposed to give the login data? Amazon example dot login. Then log dot, they told name, log dot password, now they ask you to get, what was that? AP dot get person log and ID of the person. Which person I want? There is a 39 which we inserted. Then system.debug. Result dot. What do they have? Now they are giving what? Add person response element. Go to add person response element. What type of response they are giving? Get person response element. Go to this. It is a wrapper class. Get response element. Here we have get response return. We need to understand the classes, the run type, what type of data they have. Basically, it's all about understanding your wrapper class structures. Once you give that, then I'm going to get image on example equal to get response element. There is some fishiness here. Get response element. Get response element. Look at the wrapper class. Get a response element. Get person return. Okay. Then you can print straight away. You can print person P. Now here, where was the authentication data passed? In the body. In the previous example, authentication was passed in the header. In this example, we are passing the authentication in the body. So let us invoke this method. What was that? Just object creation and invoking the method with the required parameters. Now we got here. We received here. Look at the data. We received country. Then we got age 39. Name Praveen Chandra. We got the response. Right? I hope you are good with this. Right, boss? Here what I am doing? Passing the authentication. Why I am passing in the body? Boss, it is the service provider. Whatever you tell, I have to obey. It is not your decision. Now you are telling, if you want to access my data, this is how you have to provide your information. Then I have to blindly obey your structure. Right? There is no other decision I can take it. I have to blindly obey the decision, whatever the service you are providing. Okay. Next, I want to go to the next one. I want to delete. Now again, update a person. Authentication is in the header again. Delete a person, no authentication. So first let us go with the delete a person. So we have seen how to pass the authentication in the header, how to pass the authentication in the body. Then I want to see no authentication. What is no authentication? Delete a service. Now they are giving delete person. This is open for everyone. They are giving this one as open for everyone. Now what I want to do? AP dot delete person. Then delete data, execute, go back to the service. 39 Premchandra was deleted. So it doesn't have any authentication. So it is up to the choice of the service provider. Which information you want to provide open for everybody, which information you have to provide with authentication, and what type of authentication you require, it is up to your choice. I hope you are good. So how did you consume? They gave a WSDL file. I consumed the WSDL file. They asked me what is the name of the class. I provided. Class is created with the help of WSDL file. Now outer class, inner class. One of the class will have all the services provided by the WSDL. Then outer class, that the inner class, invoke one by one. So while invoking, they are asking, do you have any authentication process or not? If you have any authentication process, we have to provide that authentication data. Maybe in header, maybe in body. Suppose, now, look at the point. Look at this point. When you're invoking a service, in the URL, we have a get method, right? People are expecting you to pass the data in the URL. People are expecting you to pass the data in the URL. If the people are expecting you to pass the data in the URL, in the REST API, what it told? Question mark, param equal to value, param equal to value. Like that, if you have to pass any data in the URL, that I will put in input headers. If you are supposed to pass, now suppose they got a URL here and they are expecting some data. Here, they are not expecting any data. If your URL is something like this, they are expecting, then you have to know that they are expecting you to pass the value in the URL. Then what should I do? The data what they are expecting you to pass in the URL, I have to put them in input header. What is this input header? Key value. Key value. What will be there in the REST API? Content type, so and so. Accepted, so and so. Header, so and so. Like that, if any data you want to pass in the header, then I have to pass it as input headers. If you want to pass any data in the header or any data that you want to pass in the URL, that I have to put in input header. Otherwise, you'll be finding header element where I was supposed to pass my authentication header, or else body which I have to pass in the parameter. No authentication, leave it. I hope you are good. I hope you are good. In the URL, if you are supposed to pass, where will you pass? Input header. In the header, if you want to pass, header element. In the body, if you have to pass, parameter. Is that was clear? People who followed? Followed, Amma? People have followed this? Sure. Right? Okay. Now, there is another way of authentication also. What was that? Certificate name. There is another format of authentication. What is that called? Certificate. Now, if you want to authenticate yourself with the certificate, so I don't have any certificates here. So what I will do, I'll show any one of my existing projects code, how we pass the certification. There are a couple of services here. Let me show you the simple one which you can understand. Look at this. This is the SOAP API web service with the help of certificate. Previous format is people are expecting you to pass certificate name, certificate. People are expecting you to pass certificate name, certificate. Previous format is certificate name, certificate. In case any password, password. This is the old pattern. But in the new pattern of Salesforce, we will not be using all these. Straight away we give certificate name. We upload the certificate to the Salesforce. Here we go with this. Where you find certificates? Security controllers. We are finding certificates here. Now import the certificate, specify the file, save it. Now you have imported the file, specify the password, specify it. Now what we give? Give that certificate name straight away here. Now look at the point. If you look at the old format was replaced with a new format. Previously we gave client certificate name, and we give certificate name and password. 3 parameters we have given: certificate name, certificate and password. But what is the new format? We commented out the certificate. We commented the certificate. We removed the password. We kept only certificate name. Now you are finding util.get admission because this is connected with the 13 systems. So depends upon the requirement, the corresponding certificate will be fetched and integrated. The endpoint URL will be fetched dynamically. The certificate will be fetched dynamically, for which we wrote one utility class. So basically, what was this? Certificate name. Only we are passing what? Certificate name. Previously we used to pass certificate name, password. That is the old pattern. But as per the new pattern in the Salesforce, if we give the certificate name, automatically system will fetch the corresponding certificate and password and append it. Previously we used to get it, append it, send it. Previously we used to get it, append it, send it. But now if we give certificate name, Salesforce only will append the certificate and password and send it. Okay. So what is the format? Simply passing the certificate name, no other information. In case if it is certificate based authentication. Second one, I told in the header element, if you are expected to pass the data in the header element, we are using. If you are expected to pass the username password in the header, I told you we can also pass in the input headers. Input headers. We can put key value pair in the form of input headers. If you already have access token, we can straight away put in the input header. I cannot pass a login ID, password, and generate a session ID. In the input header, I can pass my access token. Through some other method, you have generated an access token. That access token I want to send it, then I can simply put it in input header. So what is that input header? Anything that you want to put in the input header of the request, we can put in input header. No, I have a separate method to pass the header element, then there will be header element. No, I have to pass the data in the body parameter. No, I want to authenticate myself with certificate, pass the certificate. Header, default header element, body or certificate. Default header element, body or certificate. I hope you are good. With this. Good. Now, any difficulty in consuming the file, WSDL they will give you. Consume the WSDL, generate the class. Once you generate the class, we get outer file, inner file. I hope you are good. Okay. Now let us do one example. Can you write a program for this now? Now look at the format. I'll give you a structure. Write a program for this. People are always happy to watch. But all require 10 lakh, 15 lakh package in Gachibowli branch. Now look at the format, everyone. Now invoke this class. Now write a program to invoke the get data service. Write a program to invoke the get data service. Authentication data should be passed in the header. You take your own username, password. Now write a program to invoke a get data service where authentication data should be passed in the header. Now tell me how you created this. Example dot main class. Main class. Em dot header equal to new example dot session header element. Em dot header dot username then what are you supposed to call em dot get data. This is how we invoke. Right. People are good with this. Now let me give one more example where people are expecting you to pass data in the input header. People are expecting you to pass the data in this input header. Let me give you next example. This everyone have followed. Don't copy, boss. Not follow. Let me know. I can do it one more. Okay. Right? Got it? Okay. Let us do the next example here. People are expecting you to pass the data. Yeah. Now here you have to pass in the input header. You have to pass username password you have to pass in the input header element. In the input headers you have to pass username password. The credentials of username password you have to pass in the input headers. Now write a program to invoke the service of, write a program to call invoke service by passing the username password in input headers. By passing the username password in input headers. Now write the code for this. Create the service. Last. People are very happy. Everybody బాగా నచ్చినట్టుంది. ఉండిపోతారు ఇక్కడే. రాయండి ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ రాయండి. So how you define the service now? Now you are supposed to create example dot main class then we are supposed to put em dot input equal to new map dot, it is a reference variable. It is a reference variable. First allocate the memory, then put em dot then I was asked to call invoke service. If you want to call invoke service, what we require? We need to pass an employee. So create one employee record, then pass the employee as a parameter. So how do you create an employee record? Example then I was supposed to call em dot invoke. What is the parameter I was supposed to pass? So here we are passing the data in the input headers. As per the requirement, they are asking you to pass the data in the input header. They are asking you to pass the data in the input header. I hope you are good with this. Right, boss? People have followed this example?
Sir, the example you asked to write is soap plus Visual class, right, sir?
Visual is already consumed. We got this type of class. Then how you write a web service call? See, this class is already formed after consuming the Visual file. We got a WSDL file. We consumed that WSDL file. We got this class. From that class, how do you make a web service call is the question. Then I am going to write this way. Okay. Got it, boss? Okay. Followed everyone? Okay. Let us take next example. Main class. So this is the class what I have. So in this class, they're expecting you to pass the authentication data in the body part of the request. They're expecting you to pass the authentication data in the body part of the request. Make a request to invoke get data service. Make a request to invoke a get data service. Done. So how you create? Get data. In case if you want to pass the authentication data. I hope with this you got an idea, right? So documentation will tell you, right, whether the authentication is given in the header or header element or a body or a certificate. Now the documentation will tell you. As per the service provider will provide a documentation which tells you where you are supposed to pass authentication. Is it open or close? Okay, open for everyone or not? Right. So for your practice, I'll give this file. I'm sharing this file. You can use this file for your practice. So what I will do, and we can use that file, and the authentications what we are using. Fine. You can go to the link and access the link. You can download the visual file, consume. How are you consuming the visual file? Tell me. Setup, build, develop, Apex classes, generate from visual file. Okay. Now, I will also share a couple of other files. Theory and everything I'm going to start again from scratch in the next class. So people who want to break the class or who want to go for a vacation, for you I'm just finish an example, but for rest of the people in the next class I'm going to take everything from the scratch. What is a SOAP, what is a visual, all the definitions and formats I'm going to explain, right? And I'll be sharing couple of visual files for your practice. You can do one thing. For your practice, I'll be sharing a few more visual files. Just wait for a minute. You can download those files from there. You can also practice these examples. Right, I uploaded 3 files. One is live from the external system. Other one you can practice, they are dotted files. You can try and practice. The complete theory and scratch level of each and every element I'll be discussing in the next class. Right? Okay. So, any other queries from your end? Any other queries?
After consuming